My name is Matt, welcome back to Xenomorph Universe, and this is a bit of a controversial topic. Well, I can see it being a controversial topic. One of the things that I do not like about the progress or the changes that were made over time, or the additions to the story, even in the three original films, was this idea of the actual alien taking on genetic traits of its host. I have many problems with this, but first I want to talk about where this may have come from. So, as far as we can tell, the first alien infects Cain. In the second film, there are loads of aliens that basically are all exactly the same. We know this because when you watch the special edition and all the makings of and all the rest of it, the suits were the same. But they were different from the original Alien, which I have a theory for myself. But it's only when we really get to Alien 3 that we see what people call the dog alien. Then there was two versions of the film. There was the scene where the dog is infected, a Rottweiler is infected, and basically a fully developed alien, not a chestburster, appears. And then there's the other scene where there's an ox, and the ox births, basically the same alien. Basically, it looks like it has the same characteristics. And this is, in a sense, one of the main focuses of where this idea that these aliens draw their genetic traits from. Now, yes, a lot of things were changed. Every time they make a film, they feel that they have to add something new. It's not just an Alien thing, obviously. It's it's the same across a load of films, Transformers, everything, stuff like that. But I think that Alien 3 actually points to the fact that this isn't really much of a change, and this it doesn't point out the fact that they take on genetic traits. My theory is this: the alien in Alien is a soul alien. Maybe through pheromones or other means like that, not telekinesis, but just basically through chemical signalling. Maybe the alien in Alien has a sense that it is alone, and this would bode well for the fact that it starts to make basically its own personal, not nest so much, more of a food stash. That's what it seems like. Maybe it's holding Dallas captive and Bert captive, just in case it does then eventually find or have access to an egg and a facehugger, so it can actually then start building a colony. Maybe it's preparing. And I know people are going to jump in there straight away going about this egg morphing thing. I will do a video on that separately. The next iteration of the alien we see is the alien in Aliens. Obviously, we see the aliens in Aliens. The facehuggers are the same. And we also see the Queen as well. Now, to me, there's obviously a difference between the original Alien and the aliens in Aliens. And this might be because it might be brought around the fact that all of these aliens are born generally with other aliens around them. So they become, it could be like the cast of ants that you have, or bees and stuff like that, where you have soldier ants. Then you have workers, and then you have this, that, and the other. So maybe that the aliens that we see in Aliens are, basically like warrior aliens, or just basically soldier aliens. These are your bog standard. If you have a hive, if you have a nest, these are the type of aliens that you have. Yes, they were done for loads of creative reasons. One, the clear hard casing was far too fragile. Number two is that the light reflected off all these pits and cracks and all the rest of it that James Cameron added to the actual alien itself. I actually prefer the second, the aliens, for the simple fact is that a clear head doesn't seem to really have much of an evolutionary. There's not advantageous things that I can see from that. Where the alien in Aliens, to me, look a bit more natural, to have that kind of... You've got all these pipes and what have you, and this skeleton, exoskeleton type of appearance. Why wouldn't your head be like that? But anyway, moving on, we look at actual Alien 3. Now, Alien 3, I have, again, a different opinion about. I think that both of them eggs... maybe one of those eggs for the actual queen was laid because she knew that she might die. She's literally left her nest has been destroyed, and she's chased Ripley. I do believe that there is actually 2 eggs, not the one. The fact is that it'd be stupid to lay one egg that would then become a queen, because then she is vulnerable while she is small and young. So what would you want? You would want another alien. So you'd want them in 2s, and to have them in 2s, you would want an alien that is small, nimble, basically a scavenger. You know, a runner alien, an alien that can basically go out, forage, find a good place for the queen to then basically make her nest. You know, it's a shame that we didn't see in Hadley's Hope what the first Alien was like. Yes, this is way before Alien 3 and all those other ideas. So why do I have a problem with aliens actually, morphing or basically adapting to the genetic material that they have from their host? Well, number one is that the alien gestates very, very quickly. Number two is there would be no control over this. So you imagine what an alien would look like if it basically infected a pig versus a horse or a cow. Now you might say, well, they'd be no different, they just look like runner aliens. So basically what we're saying is that an alien that is in a human can stand on 2 legs, and an alien that's in a cow or any other kind of 4-legged mammal, even though we are very closely related as species on Earth, would then be 4-legged. It just seems a bit silly. It was a gimmick to sell toys. The fact of the matter is even if you had a giant snake, why would it then turn into a snake alien? Why would it turn into a gorilla alien? Why would it turn into a flying alien? It seems ridiculous. The other thing that's ridiculous about it outside the realms of science fiction is the fact, or outside of the realms of science, is how would the alien embryo know what traits to pick? A genetic code is a genetic code. There are not markers that say this is wings and these are teeth and fangs and this is hair. You know, why doesn't the alien all of a sudden develop hair? It came out of a dog or an ox. Why did it develop horns? Why didn't it develop, traits of a dog like big canine teeth or something, or obedience? Why does it just, when you see these alien toys and all the rest of it, they're always the best traits. You know what I mean? You don't see a pony version of an alien. You always see something aggressive. A big, strong gorilla alien. Well, a gorilla is actually, muscle mass smaller than that of a cow. So why wouldn't a cow give you a massive, strong, alien compared to a gorilla or something ridiculous like that? We also have to take into consideration the fact that the chestburster, the facehugger itself, delivers an embryo. So basically this thing is, it's already grown. It's not like single cells. It's not like it's like a single cell that's taking in the DNA material from what's around it. But yeah, it just comes to the point of how does it select which traits to pick and which ones not to? You could have an alien that, impregnates a dolphin or something like that, and all of a sudden it just basically blows out the back of its head, or it has echolocation but it walks around outside, so it's completely useless. How would these... And genetically it would be absolutely insane, because it would not be helpful for the species. You might think, well, it can get traits to become the perfect organism, but this is a very slippery slope when you're trying to... you could go down the rabbit hole completely of traits that are absolutely random. One of the reasons in nature why we cannot crossbreed between one thing and the other is because of that incompatibility. Otherwise, it would just be nuts. It would be absolutely completely crazy, because you'd just be splicing together happily and randomly. And it also goes against the fact of what in the covenant of what David is meant to have been doing, which is actively selecting traits. If the black goo turned into aliens and what have you, it wouldn't stop, so the xenomorph wouldn't be the xenomorph. Every species that it comes into contact with, it would just turn into randomly something else. You'd have a white alien, then it'd just jump on some black guy's face and become a black alien, and then it'd jump on a dog and it'll be covered in hair, and then it'd jump on a fucking goose and it'd all of a sudden have wings and webbed feet, and then it would basically be a mishmash. and that wouldn't be the perfect organism. How do you, without natural selection and trial and error, how do you hone down, the perfect organism? Anyway, that's my views on this entire subject. I know people probably won't like this because they think, well, it narrows down your possibilities, but from a science fiction, this isn't just fiction, this is science fiction. Some of the greatest, and the Alien films included, some of the greatest films in science fiction are because they stick very close to the science. The films that wander off absolutely fantastically in a ridiculous way are generally just laughed at for being ridiculous and stupid. I hope that doesn't piss off too many people. Look after yourselves, and I'll see you next time.